channel called At Home. My name is Matthew Lonsdale, and here we call program games on the Unreal Engine. So, right, there's no face cams right now because I'm charging. This is episode 4, and I forgot that I will do one more thing in here before we go back to implementing it, and that was the custom drag. So the this bit, if I can just drag this in, on the other project we had a, let's full screen this. So what's happening here, if this is going to work, right, we're in. So inventory, the custom fence. So basically it's the same setup until when we click, we're spawning one, and then we're spawning again and again and again, adding them to a little array, and then deleting and then spawning them again and again, like a loop. And then the holding shift is an added feature, as you can just see the line traces. So they're line tracing to like the landscape and then moving accordingly in the z-axis, okay, which is up and down. Okay, so we wanted to know how we did that, so let's move this back over. And then what we're going to want to do is in the build component, close that, we are going to come to the event graph, and in the event graph we've got build. Okay, so we're going to have a custom event. This is going to be custom build. Okay, now they'll all be the same. So you just drag that bit, that's the same. For now, custom build, you'll need that bit. Okay, so compile, and what we'll do, just for the sake of showing you how it works, in the player controller, which we're using player controller 1, because I was showing you how dynamic it is, up here, so we'll do 4, and then we'll get the build component, and we'll call custom build, and we're going to use the wooden fence. Alright, so let's add that to the BP master construction script, duplicate this, and I don't think we added it to the enum yet, so let's add it to the enum. And I'm itchy again. Item type, add new, and we'll go wooden. Or let's go custom wooden spike, something like that. Save, close that out, come into here, hit play so everything compiles. Oh, there's always one. So this is not happy for whatever reason. Oh yeah, so just unconnect that for a second. That'll be everything now. Can we hit play? Okay, that's fine. And access non trying to read property, check if inventory is open, PC player 1, and why we don't have a valid somewhere. Something's not valid. Show that. Let me see. BP player. Check if inventory is open. Is this because it's casting? See, this is what casting gives you. Fucking problems. So, this is obviously to do with the inventory. So, for now, we will just ignore that, because that doesn't matter right now. We just want to know how to build stuff. So, we're doing a custom build. Now, in this one, we need to now add our custom spike. Spike fence, Okay, compile. This won't affect it, so this doesn't matter. But obviously you can make a snap type for custom if you want. This won't be in the graph, so this doesn't matter. You could probably take that out if you want. We do want is it structure, and we do want that still. So in the building component now, so we have got our event. We also need the PC player 1 to call this event on 4, and we are choosing custom spike like so. Now what else do we want here? So let's have a look at my one, the one I made earlier. Okay, so this is going to be looped and looped and looped and looped and looped, this event. So we need to find out, has the first point been set? Okay, now if this has not been set, which it won't be by default, we're going to come down here and we're going to set item transform, which is set transform. Yes, this is it. And we actually need another one in here, so duplicate the input and type custom. Okay, so let's open this up and let's see what's going on here. So if snap is false, is custom or branch, if not is, right? If custom is false, then you just want to see, I've got a bit extra stuff in here. Well, we'll put that in and then we'll see how we go. So if custom is false, you just want to set the hit line trace to spawn transform. Obviously we've done it slightly different. You want to make a transform here like so. You want to do it that way. You can just drag that in, but I do not like doing it that way. I think that will cause you problems. You need to do it like that and then return. I think the reason I'm doing that is because of in the normal build mode we do that. So instead of running, basically this bit is this function. Alright, but obviously we didn't need to change it because we just left this as a default. We didn't actually put that into functions nice and tidy. So that's why that's doing that. That's why we're doing it this way here. So we need to know is custom true. Well, it will be true because we are in a custom build. So this can only be true. And snap is off for the minute. And now we want to spawn temporary actor, which is already done. So that can come in now. And I've obviously got a can on here. I have done this bit, but we haven't done that bit. I'll do that bit at the end if we've got time in the video, because it's nothing major. And in fact, you probably do need to know. Where's it gone? Where has it gone? Down here. You probably do need to know how to do that bit anyway, so I will go through that. So for now, this is going to be, we'll put this in now, can build here, but we'll just set it to true. You don't actually need a variable, do you? You might do. Right, we will come back to that. We'll come back to that. Let's not get bogged down on stuff like that for the minute. So in here, there'll be an if or branch. Some people like to call it a branch. It is called a branch, but it's an if in code. That's what that is. If true, if false, if 1, if 0. That's what that is. So we are now asking ask to place or cancel. And of course, if this is false, then you are going to destroy and then call custom build again with our item. Alright, that's how that kind of works. So you will need an is mouse button down here, and we do need a delay in here. So after we've spawned a temp reactor, you need to delay here, always after you've spawned it, and put this to 1 or 0.1 I should say, and this actor is here connected in like that. So this is going to ask to place it, or call build again. So we need to ask if this is custom or not. So let's add a boolean called custom, and then we need to if that is true. So after you've destroyed it, if custom is false, call this one. If it is true, call custom build. Obviously the item's the same, like that. That isn't called anywhere else. In fact, we actually can't use this one, can we? Because we don't want to spawn it. Okay, my apologies. Take that out. Put that back to normal. Take that out. Take that out. So what you need to do here is you actually need to set the you're not placing an actor here. You're spawning. So you're going to set this location essentially, which I've put in a function. Doesn't really need to be in a function. It can be in the main event graph. I don't like to see shit like this. Yes, here, but functions if possible. There's the odd one. That's new. Don't like looking at that. That looks dirty. I like functions, right? So, but first we're going to set the first point location, right, is probably the spawn location. So break that, stick this in here. That is being set here, so that can go in. Spawn temp reactor, that's fine. And this is if left mouse button is clicked. So let's get that in. Get left mouse button. See, this is starting to look ugly, but it doesn't matter. If this is true, set this. You also need to set your first point set to true. Okay. You also need to destroy the actor. Oops. So plug that in like that. Then set this, but you want to call. You need to call build again here, obviously. So let's see. So we're coming along here. Set first point is actually being set like that. So I'm doing this differently on here. So I'm actually setting it every time. which is probably why it was a bit clicky. That's alright. So on, left mouse button down is true. Then you want to set this. If it's false, just call build again. Actually, yep, you can run into there. And of course you will want to cancel out at any point. So you want to do that here. So if you put it here, you can put it once and then it'll check for both of them, or it'll just stop before. If you put it after here, then you've got to put it there and there. So if you put it here, right mouse button, then you've only got to type it once, because the order of shit does matter. So that looks like that, and then if that is true, you just want to come out of build mode. See how messy this looks now. That's fine if it's in a function, but it's just starting to look like that. Horrible. But you won't do anything after that. You'll just come out of build mode. So that's that bit done. We're going to make some more space here. So drag our whole graph down. Now, that should set the first point, but then you do want to call custom build again, even though you've clicked it. And this has been set. So now we will run from here. Okay, now the juicy stuff. So we have got a function here, and it's called temp spawn. Let me put my keyboard back to normal. Temp spawn item from point to current location. Okay, now this is the juicy function. So right, this is what it right, this is what it looks like. Okay, so here we go, and I'm going to break this down, and I'm going to do it properly. Let me get a drink. Oh, English love tea. It's just the way we're built. So okay, so yes, this is quite juicy, but let's just do baby steps at a time. Okay, so the first execution is to spawn actor from class at the actual pickup, okay? And the place we're going to spawn the first one, okay, which isn't too bad. And this has got complete rotation, because I was messing around with this, and you could drag out foundations, but then you couldn't snap them long way. Well, you can. It's just remember, if I was building my own game, this would be a lot more in depth. But this is a template to help you build your games. Alright? And this code will help you do that. I promise you. You will learn. You can break this down, and it will help you build your games. You will need to add to this to make it, you know, extra special. If you know, I mean, that's the idea. But anyway, shut up and fucking code, Matt. So let's make this transform. Okay, so from the first point location we have, so we are going to break this, because we do need other information from it. We're going to break this because we need to drag off of here. That's why we need to do that. We can't just plug in from here to there. Alright, so this is for later. And that is the first point. We need to put our item in, and we are not built yet. And we need to do the set collision for the static mesh. Okay. You can also set the material to blue, and you will need to do collision and stuff on this as well, but like I said, you can get the gist of what's going on. And we have a shift down here, which we have not done yet, but we're going to put the branch in. Okay, and we will then do a for loop. We're just going to run these both into here for now until we do. This bit is where you'll snap to the landscape. Alright, so that event is actually pulled off of here. So the snap to landscape event is actually running inside of this. Alright, so I tell you what we'll do. Pick up master, new function, snap to landscape. Okay, put that in there. It's dead easy, to be honest. It's fucking really easy. But we'll put this in now, so we've got it. So you can't drag off of here. You need to drag off of this one, and you need to call snap to landscape. And if shift is true, then you need to run this event. If it's not true, just do. Well, yeah, drag that out. I want one there so you can see where everything's coming and going. And this is going into there. Alright, see all that? Make yours tidier than that. I would throw up if I seen that. Okay, so this is the bit. And now, some people might say that this is a little bit hacky. Well, I don't think it is. I think it's clever. So, what we've got is if we come back, because we need to get some information from here. In fact, we could probably, instead of having lines coming all the way across, yeah, I'm not going to drag everything across like I did on the other one. I'm gonna do it fresh from here. Okay, so that can go into there like that, and then that looks really clean. So the information we've got is this and this. We have two vectors, and from two vectors you want to be able to fucking draw an imaginary spline and then divide that up into sections at spaces of 200 apart, and loop it and spawn items for each one from two vectors. Right? This is why this is not hacky. This is fucking clever, and this took a few hours to figure out. So, this is how it's going to go down. I want to so this value is the truncate one. Yeah. Alright, so what I've done, I have got the distance vector between these two. Okay, so this is going to print me out how many, obviously divide this by 200. Obviously this is where you'd put in your snaps, right? So this is where you need to get this information from. We are using 200 static mesh units, all right? So that's 200 units long. So if I snap twice, it would be there. If you wanted to use single posts, you would have to do the other maths, and we can do that at the end if we need to, because I did find a little bit of a problem with this in the end, but it just needed a little bit more work to set this number. But because we've only got 200s, we can hard code that in. So the distance between these 2 points divided by 200 is going to give us a number. So what we're going to do, make sure you've got a return here and you don't put it in the loop body. Well, let's print this out. So we'll come off of here, print string. Okay, so, and we'll print this number out. Loop body, I don't think you need to actually do anything. You can just return here, and then we'll pump this in so we can break this down and you can understand it, because there's no point just copying. You need to understand so you can program yourself. It's learning. So let's get a delay and then do the usual shit, which is this one, right mouse button, if, okay, so if it's true, you want to destroy these actors. So the way we're going to do this is, instead of dragging this reference out and these references, because there could be anywhere between 1 and 100. So the way we're going to do it is this variable that we made earlier, we can now drag that in and add. And then we're going to add this to this array. Okay? And then reconnect that up. Now, this needs to be cleared before you add, because that is the way you do things. So before this event is called, actually no, do not put that there. That will cause you major problems. This needs to go back here. Alright, so because you don't want to lose it every time. So you need to clear this at this point. Alright, back here. In fact, that probably could go in another place, but that's where I've got it on my other project, so we're going to go with that for now. And then we're going to add to it, and then basically on here we're going to do this again. Alright, so let me just see, that's set landscape. Line trace for landscape. Yeah, I've put it there, but that means I've got to run it twice. That's fine. So we're basically doing this, right, over and over and over again until we you know what I'm saying, for every one of these, right? But we're going to print this for now, and we're going to break this down. So we're going to return out of here. We're going to go right mouse button. If that is true, we want to destroy the actor. So, but we're going to have to destroy all of them. Okay, so you need to do a little for each loop in here, and then from here you need to destroy the actors, and then on complete you can set, because you want to clear this and you want to clear build mode. Okay, so that is how we're going to break out of it this time, like that. Now this is what happens when you don't use functions. Fucking mess. Can't stand it. Right, out the way. Right, if this is false, we are going to check the left mouse button, and we're going to if off of here, like so. And if this is false, you're going to do this again. So if this is false, you're going to delete all the actors and then call custom build again. Right? But we are not going to clear this. We're going to leave that in. If this is true, you need to spawn the actors, but we're not going to do that yet because we haven't quite finished. But this would be where you place all the items. You're going to have a function, you're going to call it place multiple items, and then we're going to do a for each loop to destroy, and do that after. But we need to put the function in here. Alright, so we'll do that in a minute. So, okay. So if we hit play, and I think we've gone on number 4. Sorry, I've jumped in. Ignore that. That's for the inventory. We will do that in the next episode. I have not set something, and I believe I have set that. I've done that. So what have I not set? Is it in the actual player? Custom spike is 4th. So that is pressed. So what have I not done? In fact, I think I do know what I've not done. We're in here, first point set. That's going to be false. That's going to run into set transform. If custom is true, we have not finished this off. So custom is true. What the fuck? Oh yes, right. So the difference here. This is for the transform for like the foundations, because they're like square. Now this you might want to rotate. So the reason I've made this different is we can copy and paste this bit, but what I have got is I've got the PC player, which you can, if you're if you're going to use this variable, this makes it non-dynamic. All right. So we'll run with this for now, but this needs to be the like controller get right. This is get controller player controller, and then you can get controlled pawn, and then from here get world get controlled rotation and pop that. Actually, you don't want to do that. You want to break here because you only want the Z. Give us space, split this Z, and then you shouldn't have to use that. Okay, this will work. So this component can be attached to nearly anything, and you wouldn't have to change this variable. The only reason we've got to use that is to get the input events, mouse button clicks, held shift down. If there's another way to get that information into this without using this reference, I will find it, I will show you, and I will implement it on this component. So it's completely attached to anything, works, fresh out the box. Anyway, moving on, connect this into here and return. So, because what was happening, it was spawning at 0, 0, 0. And now it should spawn in front of us. No, it's still spawning over there. I wish I could sprint. So it is spawning at 0, 0, 0. Don't worry about the errors. So let's see what is going on here. Line trace hit location. Custom true. Oh, that'll be why. So this comes into here. And now we should be like this. Obviously we're not destroying it. So, but as you can see how the fence rotates, rather like the foundation doesn't rotate. We rotate round it. Okay. Now, if you set this to rotate, you'll have problems with the snapping. You'll have to fuck about with the snapping, all right? And this is a template, remember. So, this is different to this, which is rotating with the player. But we're not deleting them, so we need to delete them after we've spawned it. So, out of here now, spawn the temp reactor. Can build here, which is going to be true. We need to right mouse button. If it's false, we also need to destroy. So that can run into there instead of there, and then do them two, like so. Now we have this. Alright, and then what we'll do is we will rotate that by default by 90. So that looks better. So in your set transform, let's just add float by float and stick 90 degrees into that. And then, oops, plug this into here. Compile, save, hit play. Now you've got this, okay, which is rotating with you. So now if we hit left mouse button, now you can see if I'm stood here, I haven't truncated this, but I will truncate this, which means how I've got like 2.5, 3, 4, 5. What we'll do to stop that from happening, I know, ignore it, next video. If we now come into here, and if you truncated this into an integer, which would happen by default if you put it into here, and printed this out, this is what you would have. So I'll snap the first one. Okay, so 1, further away, 2, now I want 3, now I want 4, now I want 5, now I want 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. The further I go away, the more individual like instances I'll need. Now up close, I only need the 1. Now I get, see how I go from here, that's about 200. Now I'd need 2, 3, obviously zeros included, so 0, 1, 2, 3, like so. So now we know how many we need. We need to spawn that amount. I think this is -1. So let's clear that print string because we know what we're doing here. So we know the amount. But if I remember rightly, I think it's -1. No, it isn't. Start this index at 1 because you've already spawned the first one. Okay. So from 1, which is the second one, we need to spawn this many. Right? Easy, isn't it? However, this is the tricky part because you have to do some tricky maths to work this out. Okay. So, you will see how I use the index of the loop, which is why it might look hacky, because I know that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to times that, okay, by the snap distance, which is 200. So like this is 200 and like where's the other one gone? And this is 200. So this is obviously only working for a 200 piece. However, you just have to set a way to dynamically change that. So this is going to say index times 200. Okay. Now we need to get unit direction, and we also need the distance vector, which I've done, and we need a shift down, right? So we don't need that. We need to make a transform. Let's just do what I've done and then we'll explain it. Okay, so make transform, and let's give ourselves some more space. Okay, so this is going up here. Don't forget to plug this in. Alright. So we are going to get the first point location. Let's move this up here because this bit's kind of done, and we'll do it again here. First point location, and we need to plus this to another vector. So we need to plus the location to 200 times to the left, right, or whatever direction. Okay, so, and we need to obviously times it by 200 by integer 1. So unit 2 will be 2 times 200, which is 400 to the right, for example, and then 3 times 200 will be 600 to the right, 5, which will be 1,000 units to the right, and so on. Okay, so we need a direction now, because otherwise we don't know which way to spawn it. So we're going to get a rotation, and we're going to get that from here, and our line trace, you can type direction, I think is what I've used, get unit direction from a vector, and then you're going to times this by this number, which will convert that for you, and you're going to plus these two numbers together. Alright, and this will give you the location. However, you're going to want to split this and split this rotation here, because you're only going to want the X and Y, because Z will fuck you up, because you don't want to take the Z from here. Well, you can do. In fact, yes, we'll put that from there for now, and we'll show you, because that has something to do with this. I have done it twice. No, that's fine. Just connect that up and let's see what we've got now. And hopefully... Okay, so, as you can see, in one direction, we are now getting it unless we spin over here. So it's spawning the correct amount, but we just need to get the rotation correct. And it's spawning it to the landscape by default. No, it's not. It's spawning it kind of to the best it can in like a diagonal. So it's not actually snapping to the landscape there because it's not here. So this is giving you kind of what you want, but not quite. So we don't want the Z. We want the Z to stay at 0. And ignore that. So if we leave that at 0, what's it going to give us now? So that's locking it to 0, which is not quite what we want either, because we want it to be in line with this 0. Okay, so that's also interesting. So what we want to do here is fix the rotation first. Now that's pretty straightforward actually. We just need the Z rotation from where's this coming from? The Z rotation from the first point. Okay, so this Z rotation find look at rotation is actually the Z rotation. Okay, so what we need to do now is get the look at rotation from the first point to the current look at point, which is the target, which is where the line trace is at the minute, and then we can split that struct pin. Okay, and we want only the Z, because otherwise they'll start rotating in the X and the Y, which you don't want. You only want the rotation of the Z. Okay, now that should give us something more along the lines of this. Okay, so now if I turn, it also turns. So we're getting very close to what we want now, just not quite. Okay, so we need to fix this bit. So let's see. If it's true, select 0. So I've actually got a select node here. Yes, so basically the reason I've done this is because what's happening on the shift, when shift is held, we're going to tell this to snap to the landscape. But we can't do both and plug this number in because they'll kind of cancel each other out. So what I've done is I've come over here and did a select node, and option 1 and option 2 is going to run from our shift down, and that will give us a true or a false. So if this is down, we're just going to set this to 0. Okay. If this is false, which means we're going to let this snap to 0. Okay. Now, if this is not down, we want to set the Z to this Z. Alright, so I'm sure we just get the first point location. Yep, so you're basically just getting first point location, break that vector, and the Z from this is the Z you want the rest of them to snap to. And now this will give you something like this. Okay. The first one is not quite what we're looking for, so I will double check what's going on there. But as you can see, that's what we want. Okay, string. So what's gone on there? Let's double check, and don't forget them errors are for something else. So get rid of that and ignore it. Right, so let's have a look at the first part. Okay, so rotation. So we actually want to also set him look at rotation here, split and split, and we want the Z off of this one to also be facing the right way, which is what I've got there, and the scale and that and that and that and that and that. Right, so that should fix the first one. And from here, so the first one is not updating. Interesting. Okay. Sorry for my language. There you go. I bet you've all seen it. Everyone but me. Okay, now we've got our custom fence, which is now running into the world. So what we're going to do is, if this is called, I'm looking on the wrong screen. If this is called by shift being down, all we want to do here is a line trace, which is pretty straightforward. So we're going to get actor location of the actor. Don't use the static mesh, use the actor, and we just want to plus and a plus, or you could use a minus, it's up to you, it doesn't matter, same thing. So I've went 500 up and 500 down, which I think should cover you in most instances. Obviously you can make this as long as you want, but from here we're going to do a line trace by object. The object will be landscape, obviously, but we have not done that yet, so we'll just leave that as world static because that's what the landscape is. And if this hits said landscape, you want to break hit result, and you want to get the location, okay, and you want to basically get the actor location again and split it, and you want to, if this is true, set actor, set actor location. So we're setting it now, and split this because you want this to be the same. So X and Y, which is that way and that way, right? But you want the Z to change. Just the Z. You do not want to change that or that. We want Z to change, which means we want to break this or split it. I don't think you can split one of these, can you? Oh, you can. So you could just pull it off of there, but you're essentially getting the Z location off of the hit result, and you're setting it to that, and you're not sweeping, and you're not doing anything in regards here. That is all you need to do. So when you now press 4 and you drag out and you're going to the world, you can now hold shift, and it's not quite right. I think I've missed something there. Build component. Let's see, have I missed something there? Build component. So we're running into that. Yes, that. If that is true, snap to landscape. If it's false, do nothing. Yeah, I mean that's exactly player shift down index is there, false is that, Z is that. Let's just see. That's no, that should be fucking perfect. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. It might just be the event in the actual. Let's see if I can print this for a frame. Or I can imagine is it's not hitting anything. That's the only thing I can think of. Snap to lands. Oh, fuck me. Oh, God. I'm not doing very. I'm having an off day today. All the videos today have been coming out shit. Right. Yes. There you go. And that's going. Obviously, that's quite a steep hill. What you could do is maybe set this a bit higher. It doesn't want to go up. This hill's a bit steep, but it is working perfectly, as you can see, like that. Okay, so if we wanted to, let's have a little bit of, because the reason I found this a problem, I'll show you what happened, and I was messing around. I'll just come up here to a bit of space. So what I did was, not that this might not happen in a game, but if you built a fence here, right, you would have to count them so you knew how many you built. Like, so there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think, right? So if we have not cleared the first line trace, but that's fine. But if I wanted to then build a fence from this point, so if I press 4 and then cleared it with the right mouse button and then pressed that, watch what could happen. It'll line up on purpose this time. Okay, right, so it kinda lined up that time, but as you can see, it's out by 2 things. Now in a game that would bug the absolute fuck out of me. I could not live with that. So you either had to get this perfect, or like that's not even that bad. But if you did that and then if I cancel that, that's actually not a bad little, and then I'll try and build from here to here. See, it can be short. So if I try, let's say this is a little bit further over and say it's here, and then try and build, you get me point. Do you know what I'm saying? It won't line up. So having a 200 unit might not be the best case. But I have had a brilliant idea when that has been snapping from that first point, because I've saved that location. What I might do is I might save the location of the last point, so you could click and then it'd be built from here. So I might implement that at some point. But what I wanted to try is, if we fuck these off for a minute, I wanted to try something, and I'll do this live, and if it goes wrong, I will fucking delete it. Where is it, my assets? This. Okay, so what I wanted to know is if I took this and made it bigger, I think 2 times bigger, 3, maybe 5. Oh, it's definitely not 5. 4, 3. Is that about the right size? No. Try 4. That's about the size of it. Right, so what I wanted to do is check to see if this method works for everything. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40. So 40 is a bit much. 30 is in line. Okay. And then you'd give it a random Z rotation. 30 again. Random Z rotation. Okay, let's make something off the fly here. I think this could work. So, but 30 is the number. So, if I fucked on with this number, 1 times 30, 2 times 30 would be 60. So, in theory, that would work. So, if I put that to 30, which is the size of the offset, and this and divided that by 30s, which is the size of the offset of them 2 static meshes. So this, you need to get this number dynamic, right? And it needs to come from probably the item info. So if you spawn this actor and use the structure, which we haven't using because this is just the building system, but when we carry on, I will definitely implement this for you. And basically get our structure, we'll set our item offset for custom snapping. And then especially for these fences, and then this can be plugged in from here, and then this will do all shapes and sizes of custom buildings, especially for dragging sets of fences, dragging individual fences, dragging walls. This will work for a lot of stuff. So if we put 30 and 30 in here, and let's really quickly come to our construction script, duplicate one of these, smash the W button. It doesn't matter about that, doesn't matter about that, but what we do need to know is the name of this, which is PAL ISAD. Come back here. So we've went PAL I spike. We need to add this, but well, fuck it. We'll use the wooden window for now. Wooden window wall. We'll plug it into that. Hit save. Hit save. Come to our player controller. come up here, duplicate, delete that one, or in fact, just change that to, please tell me, see, I've confused myself. What did I plug it into? Wooden wall window. Wooden wall window on number 4. Okay, custom build, yep, set. And what I'll do is I'll give it a random Z rotation so it looks good. Because it's not going to matter. Right, well, let's leave it like that, and then I can play with that in a minute. But in theory, oh, right, the scale. Doesn't matter about the scale. Well, it will do, but as you can see, that works fucking beautifully. Right, fuck off, them don't matter. So let's get the build component, and the scale matters. Okay, so you're gonna have to get this, you're gonna have to dynamically set this or reset the scale after this. But for in this case, in fact, I'll show you a way. So you're going to take this, okay, move this to 0, 0, 0, which is up here. Okay, drag it up slightly, so we'll make this one a little bit taller. In fact, we'll make this a lot taller, and then right click, merge the actor, just one on its own, tick this, it'll merge the scale for you and everything, and then we'll call this SM large spike. Okay, close that, go to building component, not building component, your master item, come down, change that to large spike, hit compile, play, smash the 4 button. Now you've got that, and you have now got a full spiked wall with 30 centers, which will go down hills. Whoa, collision problem there. And hold shift. Oh, look at it. Look at the curve on that. That's beautiful. And obviously you could then make these one log, and you could probably fill this in like the forest fills them in as you add the logs, like that, because they're all individual instances. You could just get instance X, set material, set it thing. In fact, you don't need to. This would work if you, add one wood and that would do that. That's fucking beautiful. So that's how you would do that. Now then, if you wanted to build a triangle from here, and then from, not that one, I wanted to build it from this one, and I'm colliding on my apples, and then I built this all the way down to here, it would snap beautifully. Oh, look at it. Yep, that is how you would do that. So that is definitely not in any means a hacky way using this integer to get a number to do that. So I have got from 2 vectors using maths and rotations to create an imaginary spline of individual instances using a for loop. Yes, that's pretty fucking jammy, I must say. So that's how you would do that. You need to find your offset. We will dynamically set this in the future, but I'm going to end the video there. You now know how to do that. That's beautiful. And let's, for the purpose of the fans, let's very, very quickly, contents. This is my other project. I'm going to, what the fuck am I doing here? Go to blueprints, not blueprints. Where is it? 3D assets, one piece. No, assets, my assets, mega scans, 3D assets, this one. So let's put this in here, scale this to 4, was it? 4, move it to 0, 0, 0, and bring this up. Oof. No, that's probably high enough, isn't it? No, we'll go tiny bit higher. Yeah. Okay. We will right click. We will merge to actors. 0 point. Yep. Do all that. Put it in assets. My assets. And this is sm underscore spike. Close that. Save. Come over to the BP master pickup. Obviously ours is looking a lot neater on this project. Custom spike fence, wooden spike fence. Change this to spike, sm spike. Compile that, save, come over to our build component and change the number here just by a default to 30 and this one by 30. We could give it a random Z rotation as well if we wanted to. Yes, we can. So let's do random floating range from 0 to 360. And you can do that for this one because it wouldn't matter. Hit save. Hopefully I'm as jammy as I think I am, and this is just going to work. Custom fence. Oh, and it's got, oh, look at it. Random Z rotations. So it looks smart. Add wood. Oh, get some wood. Get some wood. I'm loving it. Sticks. No, there's me wood. Oh, it's beautiful. That is absolutely looking amazing. And now obviously you would interact this and yes, I mean you could space these out a little bit more so some of the rotations don't. But because they're individual instances, and then you could take some of these out. And then you could put your gate in. And that looks much, much better. Yes, very, very nice. Right, well I must end the video there. And I will dynamically set the offsets for the custom buildings. And then I will continue working on getting you all up to date with this project. In the next probably two episodes we'll do that. But for now, thank you for watching. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. Now, obviously, I haven't had the face cam on. Leave a comment if you do want the face cam on. If it doesn't matter, if you hate it, that's fine. I just feel it's more connective in the way we talk and teach. But anyway, subscribe to the video, join the Discord, because I'm the only one in it, and it's sad. So join the Patreon if you want the products that I'm projects that I make. You can just have them straight off the bat. As soon as I've built something, I'll upload it onto Mediafire and put the link for tier 2 Patreon, so you can just get everything I make like that. Don't have to wait for videos. You can subscribe, flick the bell so you don't miss anything, and enjoy the rest of your day. Happy coding, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.